What if the same rain that once nearly broke a little girl became the very rain that proved her father's greatest victory? Stay with me, this story will touch your heart. From plastic sheets to umbrellas. The rain poured heavily that night. The sky was dark, and the sound of thunder echoed through the small village. A man stood outside a tiny mud hut. His clothes soaked through. His bare feet pressed into the cold, wet earth. He looked down at his little girl, shivering in a thin, torn dress. He had nothing to protect her with but an old, dirty plastic sheet. Carefully, he bent down, smiling through the rain. "Come, my little one. You won't get wet." She looked up at him with wide, innocent eyes. Even as cold water ran down his face, he smiled. He didn't mind the rain. His only thought was to keep her safe. That night, he held her hand as they ran through the mud. Chickens scattered around them. His back was drenched, but she stayed mostly dry. She clung to his shirt, feeling his warmth, his strength. He had nothing to give her but love. Yet that love was enough to make her feel safe. The years passed, and life was not easy. There were days they went without enough food. Days when she cried because she didn't have shoes to wear to school. Yet, her father never gave up. He worked in fields, carried heavy loads at the market, fixed broken tools just to earn a few coins. At night, she would hear him pray. His voice was soft, trembling, but full of hope. "God, help me give her a better life. Let her see a brighter future." She studied by candlelight, often hungry, often tired. But every time she felt like quitting, she remembered that rainy day. She remembered his smile as he shielded her from the storm. His clothes dripping, his hands trembling, but his eyes full of love. Years later, she left the village for school. It was hard, but she worked even harder. She studied during breaks, cleaned classrooms for extra money, and never forgot the sacrifices her father made. And then, the rain fell again. But this time, she stood tall. She wore a crisp uniform. The badge on her chest shone with pride. She was a police officer now, a protector, just like the man who had once shielded her with nothing but a plastic sheet. She walked up the same path where they had once run through the mud. The little girl was gone. In her place stood a strong woman. Her father was older now, his steps slower, but his smile was the same. She opened her umbrella and held it over his head. "Papa, you don't have to get wet anymore." He looked at her, tears filling his eyes. Unable to speak, he simply held her close. The rain poured, but neither of them cared. They stood there, smiling through tears, remembering every storm they had faced together. That day, the man who once had nothing but a plastic sheet now walked proudly under his daughter's umbrella. She was his greatest success, and he was her greatest inspiration. Love can turn storms into stories. Sacrifice can turn tears into triumph. Never give up, because your rainy days can lead to brighter tomorrows.